Good afternoon, guys. Let's get started here. If you're online, can you hear me? Okay, good. All right. First things first. Let's do the face-to-face students here. How many of you have done all the homework? Okay, good. Hopefully, you're not lying to me. Okay. So, if you're online, if you have done the homework, do the thumbs up, please. Okay. One, two, three, four. So I see a couple of them have not done the homework. So make sure you guys do the homework. That's going to be an important one. Second is if you're taking the October test, the registration due date is coming really, really fast. So I hope you guys have registered. And especially if you're a junior or senior, you don't want to miss that one. All right. Before we get started with math today, a couple things I want to remind you guys. One, last week students who missed the science class, I hope you have watched the video, and if you want to even review for next Sunday, that'll be great, because next Sunday will be science class, and it's really important for you to be prepared, because I'm not going to go back and review the whole material again. Okay, we don't have time. So next week is pretty important. Second thing is, I know you guys had Recal's English class twice now, right? Anything you guys want to share if you're online, face to face? Any comments, questions, concerns? Is it main thing is it helping you? That's the thing, because remember that I always picturize myself this. Imagine you're sitting in the ACT test, ready to go, and the question comes in front of you. There are two feelings you're going to have. Yes, I know it, or I don't know. That second feeling is really a very helpless situation you'll be in. And that frustrates you. Like, geez. And any amount of frustration at that moment is just a useless frustration. It's just nothing. You could have done that. You could have solved that before. So you might as well be more frustrated now and prepare than to be frustrated at that time and be like, okay, I'm nothing I can do. Sounds good? So if you're face to face here, how many of you are taking the October test? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's quite a bit. Online, how many are taking the October test? Okay, 1. Okay, so only 1, 2. Okay, so again, I'm just going to be gently reminding you guys that October 18th is a test. Today is what, September 21st, so it's less than a month. Buckle up and study, because ACT has come back roaring into admissions and scholarships. So every 1 point is going to make a significant dent into your scholarships. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it today. Don't want to take too much time from my plans. There is 2 or 3 options you're going to have when you apply for colleges for how to pay for it. One, of course, your parents pay for it. Second, you take loans. Third is scholarships. Or fourth option is basically a combination of all of this. The minute you get into loans, and I'm a college president, right? You guys might remember that. I deal with this every day. It's a nightmare to see kids struggle. Some of my, so I went to, I did my engineering in India. My total fees for 4 years for chemical engineering was $400. I got a full ride. So I had to pay $100 a year. I went to Texas A&M. I came to Texas A&M. I got a full ride, but I had to pay at least $2,200. It's just state law. So my total 6 years of education was $2,600, and I paid the loans, whatever I had, when I was 24 years old. I was paid off. I started my teaching career at 23 at Western Iowa Tech here in Sioux City, Iowa, and had like $3,000 in my credit card, and I was paid off. But I know several of my colleagues, some of them who are older than me, and I'm 47, they're still paying the loans they took. And you know what they attribute to? Almost all attribute to one thing. They say, I wish I had a higher ACT score. Almost like 99.99% of them tell me that. Because that's a route, that's the path for you to avoid that situation. Sounds good? So I'm going to repeat that. You have a choice to make now. And this choice is obvious, but you're going to put in the effort for that. Sounds good? And I'm going to have a conversation with those guys. I didn't get time to talk to them, but next week I'm going to tell them the same thing. Because it hurts me. It really does hurt me to see these kids take loans and pay. It takes years just to pay off interest. Do you know last year, $8 billion of scholarships was unused? People didn't meet the minimum requirements. 8B with a billion. So, sounds good? You have a choice. Okay. We are going to go to math today and come back to science next week. So, go ahead and get your math packets. Page 15 of the math packet. The first three equations. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to read the formula and practice writing the formula, each one of them 5 times, please. Notes anywhere you want to, because those three are extremely important.
The top three?
The top three. Page 15. The top three equations are extremely important in ACT. We never used to do that, the first two. My son specifically told me to tell you guys that this is what he saw in ACT this time. So we had to change a little bit. We only focused on the third equation. We're going to change a little bit this time. Yeah.
Aren't they moving like the test information release now to some other dates?
Yeah, October, April, June. From December, April, June. So our people who are taking the October test can now get their test back. Yeah. You guys good? Okay. All right. Again, you don't have to write anything right now. Just listen to this, please. All right. In mathematics, there are two important things we do a lot, which you guys know. factorization and foiling, right? You've heard these terms. So, factorization and FOIL are in opposite direction. So if I have to go find factors, if I have to basically factorize it, and if I have to verify it, I just FOIL it. So these are exactly opposite processes. So for example, you just had this formula a plus b squared which is same as a plus b times a plus b, right? And if I FOIL it, I get a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So what it means is, if I FOIL it, I get this. If I factorize this, I get this. Sounds good? This is extremely important for you guys, even in freshman college. If you take any freshman college math, you're not going to escape this. And we never teach these things. Based on what we have got feedback in the September test, we are including it. Now, if it is a minus b squared, only this changes. Make sense? So, knowing the formulas is not a choice for you guys, but you have to. Or, you should be able to FOIL it and get this. What we are going to focus is the difference of squares. Again, you have no reason to write anything, just listen. And then I'm going to give you plenty of time to write this, okay? Again, if you know it, you really don't have to even write, but that's your choice. Difference of squares. One of the most important thing you're going to take from this class to freshman college. A plus b, just like this one, times a minus b. Here both are pluses, both are negatives. Here plus and minus is a squared minus b squared. So if I FOIL this, I get this. If I factorize this, I get this. Sounds good? Now, it says clearly difference of squares. Difference. Okay? So it's a negative binomial, two things. Okay? They should be squares. Make sense? If they're not, you can't do this. Clear? Look for negative squares. So an easy question in ACT would be, first question, again, you don't have to write this. Factorize or simplify x squared minus 64. Of course, 64 is nothing but 8 squared, x squared minus 8 squared, x plus 8, x minus 8. Does that make sense? Because 64 is perfect square, x squared, a squared minus b squared is a plus b times a minus b. Make sense? Yeah, this might be a question number 5 or 6 in the real ACT test. And you should not take more than 30 seconds or 20 seconds for this. Because these are the questions you want to bank your points. If you get this wrong, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. Make sense? Go ahead and write on this. Then I would like you to do the second problem. Factorize x squared minus 121. This is just a good practice. course, this is x plus 8, x plus 11, x minus 11, right? Simple, pretty simple. Again, you don't have to write these steps. You don't have time in ACT. So conserve every single minute if possible. So x plus 11 times x minus 11. Sounds good? Remember though, if I FOIL this, I will have to get back to this. That's how you can verify. So you can always verify this. Make sense? Try the next question, question number 3. Factorize 8x squared minus 200. Let's go. All right, let's get started here. Now, I know, I think you might be wondering how to do this problem because 8 is not a perfect square, 200 is not a perfect square. Am I right? So, when you have a non-perfect squares, but there is a negative here, there might be something else you can do. If I factorize 8 out, I'm left with x squared minus 25. Now I'm converting a non-factorizable binomial to a factorizable binomial. Then, of course, the next step is easy. 8 times x plus 5 times x minus 5.
What if I had just taken out 2 so that there would be a 4x squared minus 100?
Yeah. Then you're left with 2 at the end here, 2x plus 10 and 2x minus 10. Then you have 2 is a common factor for each anyways, which you have to factorize. Yeah, you'll have 2 times 2x plus 10 times 2x minus 10. Then you'll have to factorize 2 here and 2 here. 2 times 2 times 2 will be 8 anyways. So you'll have. Gets good? Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this might be in the first 5 or 6 in the new ACT. This, if I have to give it, maybe around question number 15 or 20. Okay, because it's a little higher difficulty level. Question number 4. This is a hard one. Factorize. This might be out of 45 questions now. I can expect this to be around question number 30, 35. X raised to 6 minus y raised to 8. Again, if you have any questions, you should ask, okay? All right, please listen up. Now, when you do any problems on this one, it's a difference of squares, right? Square. I don't see that here, but I can convert this to a difference of squares. The good thing is there is already a difference here. So there is a rule in math, a raised to m raised to n is a raised to m times n. So I'm going to use this formula here to convert this weird looking polynomial to something like this. So x raised to 3 squared. 3 times 2 is 6. Square is what I need at the top. Difference of squares minus y raised to 4 squared. Now this is my a, this is my b, a squared minus b squared. So the answer would be a plus b times a minus b, x cubed plus y raised to 4 times x cubed minus y raised to 4. Because this becomes my a, this becomes my b. Think about it. Take your time. And what happens if I FOIL? I get the same thing again. So remember, do not forget that when I FOIL this, I have to get back to this. That can't be avoided. Now, I don't want to assume that. So everybody, I want you to FOIL this, okay? And make sure you guys are getting this. Go ahead, please. You guys know how to FOIL it. I don't want to assume that you know how to do it. Go ahead. You guys good? Let me do this, okay? So, first, F stands for first. So x cubed times x cubed. And again, I just want to make sure step by step so that I don't want to assume this. X cubed times x cubed. So, when you're multiplying variables but have the same variable, then you just add the exponent. 3 plus 3 is 6. So x cubed times x cubed is x raised to 6. And that's what we want here. Then O is the outside. X cubed times negative y raised to 4. That doesn't have any problems. I is the inside, which is basically these two, which is plus x cubed times y raised to 4. Then last would be this one, just like this one here, y raised to 4 times y raised to 4 is again the same y, multiplying, the exponents gets added up, y raised to 8. So now you can see these two are exactly the same, so they cancel off. So you're left with x raised to 6 minus y raised to 8. Make sense? I cannot emphasize enough how important this is. And I used to assume this, that people know how to do it. This is probably the first time we have ever done this, just to verify that you actually know this. So even if you have gotten this correct, I want you guys to do the entire problem from starting to here 2 times, please. Go. Just do it. Got to get this muscle memory here. I know you might know now, but you need practice. You guys good? As I said, this is really important. Last question on this topic. Again, they say factorize or simplify, same thing. Nine y squared minus 49z squared. Simplify or factorize. You guys done? Raise your hands. How many are confident your answer is correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any online thumbs up, please? If you're confident your answer is correct. Nobody? Okay. All right. Now, 9 is a perfect square, 49 is a perfect square. So what we can do is we can rewrite in such a way it looks like this. Okay? 9y squared, I'm going to write it as 3y in the parentheses squared. The whole thing is squared because 3 squared is 9y squared. This is my, and this is like my a as a group, okay? Minus 7z in parentheses squared. So it looks like a squared minus b squared, with this being my a, this being my b, which will be a plus b times a minus b. Make sense? So you can see the variations of the same concept, but the fact doesn't change that it has to, the a squared minus b squared doesn't change. And most importantly is when I FOIL this, I should get back to this. So what I want you to do now, as a last practice, FOIL this and make sure you guys are going to get this. You guys have to, I have made that assumption for a long periods of time, and I've been hearing that I should not assume that anymore. So I'm giving you that opportunity to verify you for yourself if you know how to FOIL complex algebraic equations. And you should be very confident on this. If you're not confident on this, I strongly recommend you guys to practice at home different problems on this, because you can't escape this. You just can't. Sounds good? Anyone, any questions on what's on the whiteboard? Last call. All right. Moving to the next topic. We are going to be staying on the page 15, the same page. At the bottom of the page 15, there is a number line. Please review the number line, and we're going to be doing quite a bit of problems on this. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You guys ready? Okay. Again, there's quite a bit of things you don't have to write initially. I'm going to give you some time to write later, okay? We're going to start with some silly, easy ones. You will not see this in ACT, but it's a good start, okay? The first one would be, they will say, draw the number line from x is equal to 3. Again, I said you won't get this in the test, okay? Don't get your hopes high on this one. So this is your number line. This is 0. This is 3. X is equal to 3, right? This is it. You won't get this type. Second, you may get x greater than 3. Same thing here, 0. This is 3. Now, if it is just greater than 3, not equal to, greater than or equal to 3, then you use, as you know, a hollow circle or a empty circle, and it's greater than 3. It's not equal to 3, it's greater than 3. You guys know this as well. Now, the third one is x is, absolute of x is equal to 3. Now, you gotta be very careful on this because, again, I don't wanna assume people know this. A lot of people don't know actually that absolute measures distance, and distance is always positive. So if you see anything like this, absolute of x is equal to -3, you should say it does not exist because then absolute always is positive. Okay, remember that. So when they ask you to draw the number line of absolute of x is equal to 3, before you draw the number line, you have to get rid of the absolute sign. When you do that, x is equal to 3 or x is equal to -3, because absolute of -3 is 3, absolute of 3 is still is 3. So this is the 0, 3, +3, this is -3, and this is the number line. Make sense? Again, you won't get any of this in ACT. This is too simple. Go ahead and write on this. I'm going to give you the fourth problem for you guys to do. All right. When you have a problem like this, remember one thing, you cannot make a conclusion here that it's negative and you can't solve it. No, you can't do that because there is something outside here. If this was missing, yes, then you cannot solve the problem. So the first thing is to get anything outside the absolute sign to other side, plus 8 both sides. So absolute of x plus 5 is equal to 7. Then, of course, you can break the absolute sign. X plus 5 is equal to 7, or x plus 5 is equal to negative 7. So x is 2 or negative 12. Make sense? This is the other way to write the number line, by the way. So what I would strongly suggest here, once you get to this point, take this and plug it in the original equation to see if it works out. 2 plus 5 is 7, absolute of 7 is 7, 7 minus 8 is negative 1. So we're good. Negative 12 plus 5 is negative 7, absolute of negative 7 is 7, 7 minus 8 is negative 1. You want to verify this. Don't be overconfident on that one. Sounds good? Right. Moving on. Question number 5. I want you to draw the number line. Don't do this way, like a number set. Draw the number line for this. Okay, I want you to stop writing and listen up, okay? This might need my assistance a little bit. Of course, you have the notes in front of you on page 15. Please listen to this. The first step is plus 1 both sides. Well, that's the easy step. So absolute of 2x minus 1 is less than or equal to 5. Sounds good? Again, you guys have to listen to this. When you have a question on absolute functions, which is less than or greater than, you have to be extremely careful. There is a certain methodology for this, okay? And you have to follow that. And the methodology I'm going to teach you is only going to be for less than. For greater than, it's different, okay? What I'm going to do is, just to compare, I'm going to do the same problem for greater than or equal to 4. All right? So see how it changes. So plus 1 here, same thing, that doesn't change. So absolute of 2x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 5. Now, if it is less than or equal to less than 5 for an absolute equation, can you stop it, please? Thank you. So you go from negative, after you get to this step, negative 5, that's this one, less than or equal to, remove the absolute sign, 2x minus 1, less than or equal to positive 5. This is called compounded or AND inequality. That means it is bound by the negative value to the positive value. This is for the less than. For the same one here, it is completely different. This is called OR inequalities. So you take 2x minus 1 greater than or equal to 5, or, remember, this OR does not come here. 2x minus 1 is less than equal to negative 5. Take your time here. Remember, you're breaking the absolute sign. Okay? When you break the absolute sign, this is greater than 5. That's easy one. People know that. But when I break and put a negative here, the sign has to change as well. Make sense? Because I cannot just put a negative 5 and still be greater than. So as it becomes negative 5, this becomes less than. So this is called a AND. This is called a OR. Once you get this step correct, then the remaining becomes easy. So you add plus 1 here, like this. So this one cancels. So negative 4 less than or equal to 2x less than or equal to 6. Then I'm going to divide by 2. Negative 2 less than x less than or equal to 3. This is my number line. And I'm going to draw this here. 0, 3, negative 2. So x is between these things. This is here. Okay, and you can take any value of x to identify it. Let's put x is equal to 0 here because it's a part of minus 2 and 3. 0, 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Negative 1 absolute is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 is less than 4. Sounds good? So remember, when it's less than, it is bound by the negative to its positive. When it's greater than, this is where you want to be careful here, by the way, this one right here. Then it's solve for it, plus 1, plus 1. So x is greater than or equal to 3, or again plus 1 here, x is less than or equal to negative 2. So if I draw a number line for this one, so 3 is here, it's greater than 3 here, negative 2 is here, so it's less than or negative 2. And for the greater than, your always arrows go in the opposite direction. For less than, it always stays between those 2 points. And again, you can pick any value. So let's me pick 4 here because it's greater than 4, or 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. Absolute of 7 is 7. 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 is greater than 4. So it works out. So the mistakes, where the mistakes happen for this one right here, especially this negative sign, and the mistakes happen in this step where it is bound by positive to negative. Make sense? Go ahead and write down this. We're going to do a lot more practice problems on this one next time, when next time we do the math, but I want you to write down this right now. Yes?
So like for some problems, like the sign ends up being the same, and then on the ACT, is it also the one that covers more range is going to be the one?
No.
For and, or sorry, for or, but then for and, the one that's inside of the second one is going to be the answer to that? Okay.
Make your own notes here as you continue this. Make your own notes. What you might forget, what mistakes can happen. You want to make your own notes here. The one I would definitely emphasize is this one, or this is important. Any questions on this? Again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter once you get this problem, you have to pick a value of X and plug it in, right? You forget that, you'll be in for a big surprise. So anytime you do any problems on number line and absolute number lines, you've got to verify your final answer. Sounds good? Online students, do you have any questions? All right, I'll see you guys next week for science. Big next class, okay? Bye-bye. See you guys.